think about the paddle starts from, if we imagine that the stroke starts from the point that the paddle is fully buried in the water. So we want to extend all the way forward and down to our catch. So now from this point, in terms of initiating power, if we could see the synapses firing, the first things that we'd see would be pressure on the right side, pressure on the outside heel, and the initiation of that inside hip driving forward, and then right with that is the sit-up and the pressing down with the top hand. Right? So the first thing that is firing is that movement of the hips that's driving the stroke. We don't want the first movement to be there, where it's the shoulder driving over, because what ends up happening is that we end up carrying down. It carries us down into a weaker position, and even if we're strong enough to make the front half of the stroke decent, it sacrifices the back half of our stroke. So we want to plant, we're going to sit up and roll over our paddle. So that what leads the stroke, what leads the power initiation is that hip drive, that hip derotation. As I get to the back of the stroke, so I've pulled through, I've sat up, I've pushed down. Now, as I'm getting ready to exit, so I'm getting ready to exit as my elbow is approaching the body. Now, the first thing that leads the body motion back to the front of the stroke is the inside heel pressure, pushing my hip back to the back. And you can see even just standing here, right? I don't have to do anything with my arms and shoulders. As soon as my inside heel starts pressing, it starts to bring my shoulders around and my paddle starts to come through on its own. Right? So all I need to do is pull the paddle forward towards the next stroke and just let it move with my hips. So it's the hip motion that sets it up. I hinge forward, so it's hips, then body, and then hands are the last thing to get to the front of the stroke.